Good evening and welcome to Haunted Homemaking. Earlier tonight I was lurking in my fabric stash to organize when I realized I have so much hoarded, completely unused fabric. We've all been there, right? You find some nice fabric with maybe a cute design that you like and you have full intentions of using it, of course, but it just sits there for months, maybe years. I get it.
Boo!
Sorry, kids, am I right? But I have the perfect beginner sewing project for you that is worthy of that fabric you've kept in your dungeon for so long. And just what are you two handsome ghosts up to tonight?
I'm gonna go catch a werewolf.
Yeah, the news lady said it's going to be a full moon.
Exactly. Don't you watch the news?
That's right, folks, it's a foggy full moon tonight, so you may get the chance to spot a friendly werewolf. I recommend venturing out with a large flashlight and returning before midnight, as that's when the woods start whispering to you.
Oh, that's spooky. I heard werewolves love kibble.
My ex was a werewolf, so I can confirm. It didn't work out though. It was the urinating on fire hydrants.
Well, how about that? I'm Samuel Spookinson.
And I'm Donna News.
This has been Heckish News. Stay safe, folks.
Wow, that sounds really interesting, but isn't our neighbor a werewolf? You can just visit him. Why does it have to be a full moon? I'm sure he'd appreciate it.
I don't care if he appreciates it.
Yeah, he's only a werewolf when it's a full moon. And it's not a full moon every night.
What would I want to visit an old man for?
He smells like cough drops and he wears his pants real high.
Well, I didn't know you two felt so strongly about werewolf sightings. Who's taking you?
We're gonna ask Mr. Oz if he could take us.
Uh-huh. Yeah, hopefully he's doing something real important and then we can inconvenience him.
Yeah.
What makes this project so beginner-friendly are a few things. It uses only one pattern, it doesn't take a lot of fabric to do, and you can complete it in just a couple hours. I know, a dream come true, right? For this Furoshiki Bokuro bag, I'm drafting the shape of a tote. I'm drawing a square in two handles, with one handle being about half the size of the other. This will give it that fabulous knot shape. Then we just cut out. You'll need only one pattern piece for this project. Of course, this can be any size you prefer, but since this bag is meant to be carried by your hand, you don't want it too big. Think clutch-sized. The two fabrics I'm using tonight are a beautiful light blue and red with a Japanese floral motif. I've always kept these two because I love the metallic details on them, but never really figured out a project perfect enough for them. I think at one point they were supposed to be pillow shams, but I think this knot bag will be perfect too. With right sides together, I'm cutting out two patterns of each color. So 2 blue and 2 red, 4 pieces in total. After cutting out all my fabric pieces, I decided the light blue is going to be the outside of my knot bag, so all the red is going to serve as my lining, which we can put that to the side. The next step is entirely optional, but I could not help myself. I decided to embroider a spiderweb design to the fabric that serves as the outside of my bag, so the light blue. As beautiful as the design of this fabric is, I just think a spiderweb will really make all my dreams come true. To give my embroidery stability, I'm adding some interfacing to the bottom as I stitch. I'm using a fairly easy technique where I stitch a certain amount, then come back up in the middle of that same stitch, overlapping it as I extend the design. I hope the example I provided makes more sense. Creating doesn't require proper technique, but it really helps when trying to explain what you're doing. On the bright side, a spider web is a really easy and forgiving design. I mean, they all come in different shapes and sizes anyway. You got this. With my spider web embroidered, I'm going to keep going with the design and add some clear beads. I think what I had in mind was rain droplets on a web, which I think is so beautiful. No fancy technique here. I'm just looping the bead to my fabric and securing with a tight knot in the back. With all the embroidery and beading done, we can finally start sewing everything together. For both the lining and outside of the bag, I'm placing the corresponding colors right sides together and sewing the sides, bottom, and top of the straps. I included a visual to better explain. You want to make sure to not sew the openings, so that means the sides of the straps and the opening of the bag. Once both lining and outside piece are happily sewn together, I'm going to turn my light blue pattern inside out. Then I'm taking my red lining and stuffing inside my blue body, and this will create the inside and outside of my bag. We're at the home stretch. The next step is to pin the remaining raw edges in a way that both patterns' right sides touch each other, like so. Then I'm going to carefully machine sew along the edges, finally finishing the straps and opening. If you like, you can hand sew this part if you don't like to see the stitching, but I am not feeling very picky tonight. For the last and final step, I'm going to add my spider brooch to my knot bag, and we are finally finished. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope this episode inspires you to create something of your own, and I hope this project seemed easy enough to try out. Like all skills, practice makes perfect, or at the very least familiar. Once again, thank you for joining me. Please take care of yourselves, and please be careful of the werewolves tonight. Bye. There you two are. How was werewolf sighting?
It was so fun. We got pictures of the werewolf.
And I threw a tree branch at its head so hard that it broke and it didn't even notice.
That sounds so fun. Where's Mr. Oz?
Mr. Oz said something about the trees whispering to him, and he walked right into those woods and he never came back out.
Yeah, he was acting real weird, so we just left him there and we had to walk home. If I had
Yeah,
feet, they'd be sore right now.
You two want cookies?
I love cookies.
All right.